Welcome to the Wellness Wednesday workshop. I'm Dr. Devin. My goal is to help you maintain and improve your active lifestyle. Our question today is, I exercise regularly, so why do I keep getting leg injuries? Our bodies are designed to move. Sitting is the new smoking. Sitting is pretty much just as bad as smoking. So if you think of someone who works in an office 8 hours a day for 30 years, it's just as bad for their body as if they smoked for 30 years. So don't sit. You need to stand up. All problems with your posture come from your feet. Your feet should have 3 arches in them. They make a dome-shaped structure called the plantar vault. So if this is my foot stepping on the ground, it's the only part of your body that actually makes an interface with the ground. So your foot hits the ground, disperses, and spreads the impact out and absorbs the energy, and then comes back up over and over and over again. If your foot is working properly and it's going down and coming back up and all 3 arches are working in harmony, everything's good. You have good posture, your knees are good, your hips are good, your back's good, the rest of your spine is good. When one of those 3 arches drops, or they all start to drop, instead of taking a step like this, you start to slam against the ground. And that energy has to go somewhere, so it goes up your knees, up your hips, up into your back. So it causes knee problems, back problems, joint problems. So when you're exercising and you have bad arches and they're not absorbing and dispersing the impact, then you're going to cause all kinds of problems in the rest of your spine, and you're never going to have lasting balance in your muscles from side to side. We do a laser 3D image of your foot that measures your foot arches down to 300 microns, which is the width of only 2 hairs, to see if you have differences in the arches of your foot. A lot of people ask, how did my feet get like this? Well, either 1, you picked the wrong parents, which you might have done, or 2, they just collapsed over time. And it's kind of like an elastic band. The more it spreads out, the more impact it gets, the stretcher it comes, and then it doesn't always bounce back anymore. Over my years of scanning people's feet, I've seen very few people with good arches, especially in all 3. Next thing we're going to talk about is your posture after we've talked about your feet. When you run, you should be standing perfectly erect and upright. If you're not standing perfectly erect and upright, you're going to be using more back muscles to run than you are leg and hip muscles. So as you bend over, like you're running a mile, you're running 2 miles, you're running 3 miles, and you start to lean forward farther and farther and farther, it's going to cause more pressure and more strain on those lower back muscles. If you watch Olympic athlete runners like Usain Bolt, when he runs by the 4th stride out of the box, he is standing perfectly upright, straight. You could actually balance a plate on his head. He is standing up so straight. Posture is perfect, moving back and forth in stride. So you need to work on your posture while you're doing your exercises, especially running. Poor posture leads to imbalanced muscles. If you're exercising and you're exercising crooked or you're exercising leaning forward, you're going to involve the wrong muscles and you're going to cause all kinds of problems. There is a test you can do with your knees to check and see if your muscles are imbalanced from side to side. You're going to stand up. So go ahead and stand up. These legs are a little too different. Stand up. You're going to pick up one leg and then you're going to bend the other leg 30 degrees. If you look at my knee joint, it goes straight up and down. On a lot of people, when you bend down this knee, it will fold in. When it folds in, it means you've got an imbalance in the muscles between your quads and your hamstrings. And there are some exercises you can do to help fix that. Basically, the exercises are making sure your knee stays in a straight track while going up and down and doing that test. Hold on to a wall or a door with shoes on and just, so leg up, 30 degrees, up and down, 10 times. Do it 10 times, 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. Do it on both legs, and then we can talk about what it's going to take to get it to strengthen even more, put some more harder things into it so that it continues to improve your posture and continues to improve your knees, because your knees are kind of important, just almost as important as your feet. Flexibility is the number 1 most important thing with exercise and as we grow older. The best way to start improving your flexibility is breathing properly. Breathing is so important, but most people breathe like this. That's shallow breathing. Shallow breathing leads to acidosis, so it creates more inflammation in your body. You want to deep breathe. So put your hands on your stomach and either sit down or lay down, you want to do these standing up or laying down. You take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And when I'm doing this, I'm putting my hand on my stomach. You want to take 8 breaths 3 times a day, deep breaths like that. Eventually you'll train your body to breathe correctly, but that's going to help start stretching all the muscles in your body. If you're not breathing properly, then you're going to have all kinds of issues. So again, 3 times a day, 8 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then, as far as exercise goes, you should be able to independently move your hips, your pelvis, your lower back. Until you can independently move, all by itself, your hips, and then independently move your pelvis, and then independently move your lower back, you should never ever do a deadlift, because deadlifts can cause a lot of problems if your muscles are not working in harmony. Another way to test your flexibility is to sit down with your feet up against the wall and bend forward. If you can reach down and touch your toes, you've got pretty good flexibility. If you cannot, then you need to work on stretching out those hamstrings. My tip for the day is, if you have IT band pain, which the IT band is the muscle that runs down the side of your leg, lots of runners get it. If you have IT pain, it's either from increasing your distance too quickly or increasing your speed too quickly when you're running. As you're running, it will cause your pelvis to drop to one side. When your pelvis drops to one side, it will cause your knee to go in on that side, and it will stretch out that IT band every step you take. So you need to work on fixing your running stride. You need to slow down, or you need to decrease your distance, because that's what's causing your IT band pain to keep on going. Next week we'll discuss working your kinetic chain. Your kinetic chain is a chain of muscles that goes up and across your spine and back, knees, legs. We'll talk about working those kinetic chains for big gains. Go ahead and like, comment, and share. Subscribe to our page, and we will see you next week. Have a good week. Bye.